night owls. I found something. I was cleaning house today. I had to clean my kitchen. I got my kitchen all cleaned up, and I feel really good about that. I was going through some papers to find my W-2 form from when I was working, so I can go do taxes. Go do the taxes thing that we all do when we're all grown up. Anyway, so I was going through the papers to look for my W-2 form, and I found this. What it is, you might be asking, is it was a fundraiser for when I first came out of the hospital. I think I was just getting out of the hospital, and my aunt was like, "Oh, we need my aunt, my mom, and my dad all got together, and they were talking about some kind of fundraiser for me for my bills, because at the time I didn't have SSI and the government wasn't going to pay for them. At the time we were working on getting that so the government could just pay my bills, so I don't have to not me, but they didn't have to pay it, and it was on their heads or whatever. So they were going and talking, and I remember this picture that's on the flyer being taken. And at the time, I didn't know what it was for. They just said, "Alicia, let's take your picture." And I'm like, okay. So they took a picture of me when I was in my wheelchair. And I think I got out a week or two afterwards. And then it was in June when we had this benefit. It was to raise money for me and for my bills, and of course the government did give me SSI, and they did pay my bills, so I didn't have to worry about that. Well, the government didn't pay for it. Actually, yeah, it was the government, was it? It was. They were working on getting me my SSI and working on getting me. They were working on getting me Medicaid, which is the one that I have. I think is. I don't know, it was a really good Medicaid, and they paid all my bills, but we were working on that, and of course I didn't get approved for it at the time, so they wanted to pay the bills, and so they started to raise money, so we didn't have to worry about that. So we were kind of like, just in case they denied us, my mom and my dad wanted to make sure that they had they were trying to be a step ahead, just in case. Anyway, so this is what it is, the benefits, and I'll read you it. It says, benefit Alicia Freeman, Sunday, June 10th. This is 2016 when this happened. At 12 noon to 5 p.m., Barbagallo's Restaurant, North Syracuse. $10 per person, children under 10, $5. They had a whole bunch of food, and I think they had games, but if I remember correctly, not that many people came. Yeah, a lot of people didn't come, so we didn't raise that much money, and I remember my mom being kind of stressed out and mad about it, but in the end, we got my Medicaid, and they ended up paying all the bills, so I didn't have to worry about it in the end. So, but like I remember, my mom was stressing out over it because a lot of people didn't show up. But anyway, so there's more. It says, "Come join the fun with food and music. All proceeds go to the Alicia Freeman, a 13-year-old. Yeah, I was 13 at the time." Proceeds go to Alicia Freeman, a 13-year-old girl from West Monroe area, was diagnosed with transverse myelitis. This has left Alicia practically paralyzed. We are showing our support for her and her family, and are hoping that the community will join us. Alicia and her family are working hard to beat this disease. We are hoping that she will be able to walk within the next year. We need your support to make this wish come true. Alicia is in a wheelchair, and our intent is to raise money to offer medical and household expenses to review the family's relieve the family's burden. I read that and I'm like, wait, that didn't make no sense. Yeah, relieve the family's burden. So yeah, I was supposed to go for my medicine, for my bills, and for stuff that we needed for the house. But in the end, we ended up getting by. We got Medicaid. They paid our bills. We went with a Rise. They helped us get a wheelchair accessibility for our house, for like a ramp. They couldn't really do much about accessibility for the house because we lived in a trailer. So, but they did their best. But like the most thing we needed was a ramp because my mom and dad were tired of carrying me up and down the stairs. But yeah, we managed to get by. But yeah, I remember this a lot, and I remember that a lot of people didn't show up, which kind of didn't really bother me at the time, but now that I kind of think about it, it kind of makes me a little upset that not that many people like tried to support me. But you know, it was what it was. But we managed to get by and stuff like that. And like, I don't have a lot of good memories of when I was young, around 13. That's where all the problems like started with my family. It was around the time that I ended up getting paralyzed from the waist down, and then getting back up and walking and all that. But like we had a lot of good moments, but we had a lot of bad moments, and they're still ongoing to this day since 2016. I had said on Facebook when this year started that I hadn't had a good year since 2016, because around that time is when all this stuff happened with my family, with my sister. My sister started acting out and being bad, like not being bad, but like acting out, doing stuff that she shouldn't be doing. She isn't making a good life for herself, but she's actually is starting to change. She's slowly getting herself back up on her feet. She took in a pretty hard fall. Like, she didn't fall, like, she didn't like fall down or anything, like, but like she took the wrong path, I should say. She took the wrong path, and she just wanted to be completely miserable. She wanted everyone's attention because she was the baby of the family, but because even though she was the baby of the family, normally the baby of the family gets all the attention, but with me going into the hospital, all the attention was on me, and so she acted out to get attention and stuff like that, and it was just like a downward spiral all the way down. And it took a big toll on our family, but she's slowly coming around. She's Anne right now, but she's getting there. She's slowly getting there. I remember this benefit, though. I remember it. I don't remember a lot of stuff that happened in the hospital. I remember doing a lot of physical therapy. Which made me mad. I didn't want to do physical therapy. Like, some days they were like, oh, Alicia, you gotta go to physical therapy, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. Then they're like, oh, Alicia, if you don't, then you won't be able to get up and walking, which I really wanted to, so I'm like, fine, I'll go. So I went. But I remember just like being extremely exhausted and just wanting to give up. There was like this one day I remember, it was kind of funny. I tried hiding in my room. Yeah. I tried hiding in my room and hoping that no one would like come find me for PT to help me walk and stuff like that. But they found me, of course, because I was hiding in the one spot where they would obviously look. But I was like tired and I just didn't want to do it anymore. But I pushed through and I'm back up on my feet. I walk. I guess I gotta tell you that I walk like a toddler. I was always having a hard time trying to explain how I walked. if you look at a toddler and how they walk, that's how I walk. I'm balanced, but they can get around, but they like kind of like stumble and fall once in a while. They're kind of like that. So if you ever think of wanting, every time when I do ones where I'm walking, I try to cut it so you don't see me walking, because I don't know. It doesn't really bother me. It shouldn't bother me, but it kind of does bother me in a way too. Because one time I was out with my friend, which was this past weekend. I was out with my friend and we went to this thing, and there was a whole bunch of teenagers there, and this one girl, she was staring at me, and I'm like, why is she staring at me? And then she looked at her friend and whispered something to her, and I was standing still at this time, and then she started staring at me, and I'm like, okay, and then I started walking, and then she bust out laughing, and she hit her face, but I knew she was laughing, and I'm like, wow, that's just, they're teenagers, they don't, whatever. It really hurt, though. It pissed me off, it made me feel self-conscious, and stuff like that. So if you see somebody walking with a disability, they walk a little funny, they don't walk like you do, don't laugh at them, don't make fun of them. It's because if they catch you, it's just gonna hurt them. It will hurt them and make them feel self-conscious and all that stuff like that. Just treat them like they're just like everyone else. Don't treat them like they're some kind of freak or anything like that, because it's hurtful, very hurtful. Well, anyways, my night owls, that's the end of this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see all you beautiful night owls tomorrow. Good